First off, you're going to need a jig head like this, or any other type of jig head. This one happens to be approximately 1 ounce, quarter ounce. You're going to need something bigger, I would suggest, in order to get these larger 9-inch baits, for example, down where you want them and to ride right. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to slide this jig head on like that. Once you've done that, you can rip off the tail, or at any other point in time rip off that tail. Hold on to this, you might want to use it at some point. I rip it off right about there. Once that's on, you're going to cut out a piece of wire using, this is 51 gauge or .051 gauge stainless steel used for making bucktails and such. And you're going to get that piece and you're going to make a loop, and you're going to put your silicone, your surgical tubing rather, over top of that loop, and you're going to shove it all the way through the bait. Make a loop on the bottom, pass that loop all the way through the hook. Your surgical tubing is there to help keep it in place. And then underneath, this one isn't wrapped very well, but you make a couple of wraps ideally. And then all you do is you put on your split ring. This is a Wolverine triple coil, ideally. And these are some old Eagle Claws. I prefer Eagle Claw 774s. This is a 5/0 older style with that beak on it. Once you've done that, then you can put another small piece in, making your loops. Again, finish them off better than that. I ran out. It'll still hold a fish. Put your surgical tubing on, run it from there, however far back you want that second hook. If you want that second hook even farther back because you're worried about short bites, you can do that. You could, in theory, put this hook all the way up to here without putting in that piece. I've done that with some shorter baits. I wanted mine put back a bit with that extra piece in there, just for shorter bites. Once you've done that, you can put in your tail. What I've done is I've attached another piece here with a loop all the way through, so when the fish pulls on this, that piece securing the grub will not come off. It's got a little hook in it as well, as you can see. You just slide that on, and that typically holds it quite nicely without shaking off. And that is one of the baits that I make. Couldn't tell you the name of it, haven't thought of one yet. The external wire harness is not an issue for muskies. They simply don't care. I would suggest using a larger jig head than this. This seems to be a Kalins that I got. Actually no, Kalins has different types of hooks. This is a different brand. Could be a Lunker City. I painted it, put an eye on it, and then cover it with epoxy to make that nice head. The muskies probably don't care, but makes the bait a little bit better and allows you to harness your, work on hone your skills a bit. I would suggest a slightly heavier head than a 1.5 ounce. 2 ounce will move that big body a little better. But if you use a lighter head, the action on this is going to not only fall straight down, but it will give out side-to-side action when you rip it. I rip these through the water typically like a bulldog. I don't jig these a lot on the bottom of the rivers, partly because of that bottom hook. You could, in theory, get rid of that hook and get away with jigging it in some of these rocky rivers and lakes. And there you have it for now. They all catch fish.